Ah, mirrors are not meant to be lived in, brothers and sisters. I'm going to say that again. Mirrors are not meant to be lived in. Do not live in the mirror. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does that mean, man? What mirror are you talking about, bro? Are you crazy? That has never been proven. But the mirror that I'm talking about is your life. This world, this society. I will never get tired of using air quotes when I talk about these subjects. You're looking at an outside you're looking at an outside effect, and you're taking that to be the cause. Okay? I did the exact same thing. I did the exact same thing. That's why old habits die hard. You need to saturate your mind with it so that becomes the new default mode. You can do it. 100% completely achievable. Totally doable. But when you take the outside world to be the cause, you're constantly in a state of seeking. You're constantly in a state of not having. Constantly in a state of needing. Right? You need to see that person like you need to see that interest, right, for that person to like you. You need to see that opportunity present itself in order for possibilities to emerge. You need to see that new car. You need to see that new house. You need to see that new place, etc., etc., etc. The fact that you need to see all of this, okay, as proof means that you don't have it inside of you. You don't have it internally. You don't got it. Because if you did have it internally, then you would reverse course and course correct. Because now you understand that you are the cause. Your internal world, your internal state, your heart, mind, that coherence of the two, that's the actual cause. This outside world, this realm of 3D phenomena, is but the effect of it. And it's always going to be the effect. It cannot be the cause. That's not how it works. It's not the cause. It's as within, so without. Okay? And also as without, so within. And as above, so below. And as below, so above. But it's not the outside making the inside. You have to have it inside of you first. Then you see that reflection. They may be asking, but I'm not seeing it right now. I was the exact same way. There is a delay. Okay? Keep in mind now that time, okay, as we know it, doesn't actually exist. It's a sense perception. I know I'm dropping a lot of bombs on this video, right? But it's true. It doesn't actually exist. It has no substantive existence. Okay? The only meaning it has is the meaning we give it. Time dilation, Einstein's theory of relativity, Einstein's special theory of relativity. You want to play around with phenomenology, metaphysics, near-death experiences, etc., that show you that time is nowhere near as concrete as it purports itself to be, or as some people believe it. It just isn't. It's just not. You perceive it to be linear. That doesn't mean it's linear. It's not linear. It doesn't exist. That tangent aside, when you take into account the delay and you just maintain that identity, then truly the old does pass away and the new comes. Then eventually you get to a point where it just kind of flows, and you sometimes you might even forget about it. You might actually be like, "Oh man, I actually forgot that I did this." But hey, look at that, it worked out. That's when you know you're in the new state because you're not looking for nothing. You don't need no proof. You don't need any validation. You don't need any external representations to tell you, because you are the thing. You are it internally, inside of you. Why would you need anything outside to tell you who you are inside? You know who you are inside. And actually, the outside reorients to that. You do it negatively, which I did prodigiously so. You can just flip it. Take responsibility for that. Okay? Beat yourself up over it. It's not going to do anything. Take responsibility for it, and then just flip it. Simple, not easy, but it can be done. That's when you kind of operate from the new mode. And like, okay, this is who I say that I am. I'm the kind of person that receives this. I'm the kind of person that does this. I'm the kind of person that gets this treatment. Bop, 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 bop. Write it down if you got to. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. For real, because the more you can have fun with it, the more relaxed you are. The more kind of outcome independent. You're detached. You're just having a fun time. Like children when they play. They're just chilling, man. They're having a good time. They're just being in the moment. Present. They don't care. Like, but it's not like in a negative connotation that they don't care. They're carefree. They don't care. They're focused. They're doing what they want to do. Running around, swinging, climbing trees. I like to climb trees. That's what I would do. That's me. And it's very tempting, as always, as always, it's very tempting to live in the mirror. Because that's what everybody does. That's what you grew up doing. That's what I grew up doing. That's like the default method of propaganda, basically. Live in the mirror, look at the outside, talk about the same things again and again, watch the same things again and again, and do the same things again and again, and just live a life of perpetual monotony and wonder, really wonder why nothing's changed. I know I sound like a certain type of way when I say this, but that's what's going on, okay? And as somebody who used to do that, that's no way to live life. It's not a good way to live life. And you're ignorant to yourself. That's the worst part. You don't know who you actually are. So keep looking around. Keep looking around. Okay, the sky is falling, Chicken Little with your head cut off, running around, a million different directions. What are you even doing there? How about this? How about this one? Who is the one running around? Who is the person running in all of these directions? Can you answer that question? Genuine, from the bottom of your heart. Who is this person? Is it you? Then who are you? You're doing all of this. You feel the need to do all of this. I felt the need to constantly escape, right? Escape from my reality. Because I wasn't in a good place mentally or environmentally or anything. So I constantly fed that cycle of escapism. Okay? That destroyed, I don't want to say destroyed, but it eroded a large part of my mental health at that time. Now, I have a burning desire to create. For real, I consider myself to be an inventor. Right? So I'm something of an inventor. I like to do different projects, different passion projects, even though they infuriate me. I'm doing one right now. It's frustrating me, but I'm in the end stages. I've accomplished a lot, considering I started out as a total novice. But I like to create. That's what I like to do. I like to learn new things. I like to create. I like to chill. I like to drink coffee. I like to watch anime. I like to exercise. Right? Work out, meditate, soak up some rays. Bathe in the light of the sun. I love to feel the sun's warmth. Because I walked for so long, perpetual darkness. And now I still have that shadow. Don't get me wrong. I still got that darkness, but I've integrated it. Right? It doesn't control me anymore. I'm not afraid of it. Okay? I can look at it and almost talk to it, kind of see what it's trying to tell me. And I'm gonna make another video on that. I know I touched on that before with integration, but I want to go a bit more deeper on, because I know it's intimidating, that darkness. But if you can do it, and you can do it, I shouldn't say if, when you do it. How about that? When you do it, you will feel genuinely strong, because you have both forces. Okay, the yin and the yang. It's a dance. It's a dance. Okay, it's like a flow, like with men and women, right? The best instances of relationships between men and women, it's a flow. Okay, it's the masculine interacting with the feminine. It's the feminine interacting with the masculine. but it's a flow. Those are the best instances, relationships between the opposite sex. It's the flow. It's a dance. You have to have the interplay there. You need both. You need both to be whole. See what I mean? Anyway, this is kind of getting reminiscent of alchemical discussions. I may need to make another series just on that, because you can go real deep onto that one. The topic of this video is to avoid living in the mirror, and for taking the mirror as reality. The mirror is not reality. The mirror is a representation of your inner reality. Okay? I'm gonna say that again, because I'm trying to remember this as well. Brothers and sisters, I'm right there with you. Trust me. Okay? The mirror is not reality. It's not reality. It has never been reality. It will never be reality. That's not how it works. I don't make the rules. But what the mirror is a representation. It's a representation of your inner reality. Who you are inside. Who do you say that you are inside? What did Jesus say? Who do you say that I am? I am. Who do you say that I am? And I am is God's name. Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, I am that I am, for to tell the Israelites that I am hath sent me unto you. I am. Who do you say that I am? Remember one of the commandments? Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Who do you say that I am? Say this to yourself as an exercise. Who do you say that I am? And just say that to yourself and don't say anything else. Observe what comes up. A lot of negative self-talk, a lot of self-deprecation, some self-pity in there, maybe even some self-flagellation. Notice a lot of people do that, particularly a lot of religious people. Again, no condemnation. You have to understand our inner essence if we're gonna move through this world in a way that we desire to, in a way that we wish to, in a way that we intend to. The mirror will always be the effect. We always are the cause. We have the operant power, the chief functioning ability to cause out there. I know that's a lot to process, especially if you're in a bad situation. You have to take some responsibility on your inner state. But I want to make this abundantly clear. Responsibility does not equal fault. It does not equal blame. Those are two different things. Do not blame yourself. Do not heap fault unto yourself. I implore you, sincerely, listen very carefully, sincerely, that will do no good. That will not help you, okay? It'll just make things worse, honestly. But if you can acknowledge that from this point forward, from this realization, this crystal clear lucidity you have access to, that you've always had access to, it is your responsibility moving forward on what to do with this information. So you can say that to yourself and genuinely mean it, and know that you mean it. Chef's kiss. You are now in the optimal position to effectively move forward. Because now you have that responsibility. You're like, okay, you know what? Like for me, for instance, I was in a cycle of escapism for so long. In a cycle of addiction. In a cycle of substance abuse. Because I was in severe internal pain. Severe internal pain. But you know what? I had to acknowledge my own role. I had to acknowledge that I was the one taking those substances. I was the one drinking. I was the one essentially giving up. I didn't blame myself, especially when God showed me, because it was never about blame. It was about understanding. Once I understood the lower, then I could effectively lift my eyes to the higher. It's above, so below. It's within, as within. This was an arduous process. It took me a few years. So that was like I wasn't, not in terms of my communion with God, but in terms of my own kind of stuff, going this and then going back to it, going this and then going back to it, etc., etc. Dealing with grief, things like that. But even from where I was at, it was a comparatively short process, considering that my entire life, my mind, okay, was my enemy. Okay, I was severely, I had severe anxiety, like to the point where it would destroy my immune system, and my stomach, my nerves were all shot. It was severe anxiety. For the vast majority of my existence, I was a victim of my own mind on that anxiety. Right? But now, it's literally like night and day. It's like it's 180. Now I realize that your mind can either be your greatest enemy or it can be your greatest ally. Okay, your worst enemy, it can be your best friend. My mind's my best friend now. I'll be talking to myself sometimes, hyping myself up. You know what I mean? Like genuinely having a conversation like I'm talking to my best friend. Okay? You can imagine that these conversations are actually life giving. I'm inadvertently, subconsciously, what I'm doing is I'm speaking life over myself. That's essentially what I'm doing. I can talk more about that in a future video if so desired. This is a great exercise, actually. And that positive self-talk and that uplifting conversation really energizes you, breathes life into you, and it feels amazing. And this also goes hand in hand with not living in the mirror. I would never consider that to be a possibility. My logical brain would have said, it doesn't work, doesn't make any sense. God's ways are past finding out. God transcends logic and reason. The living God is far, far greater than our elementary deductions and logical reasoning. Not to say there isn't a place for it. I'm just saying God's ways are past finding out. However, as descendants of the living God, we have access to those ways, even if we can't necessarily logically explain them or know them. The next time that you want to live in the mirror, next time that you are living in the mirror, pause. Literally pause. Internally, remind yourself that you're a child of the living God. It's your life that you are creating, your life that you are actively living. Your life, your creation, your active living. Say those things to yourself, very slowly at first. Really digest the words, process them, understand the magnitude, the weight that they hold. Down to the last syllable if you got to. That's the power that is in our possession. That's genuine power. You go from living in hell, living above the clouds, living on the clouds. It starts internally. Whenever you get discouraged, genuinely remember how far you have come. Just when you recognize that discouragement, the fact that you have even processed that is a genuine indicator. Okay, that's a KPI flat out. Okay, that is a KPI of your progress. Because that's self-realization. That's understanding turned inward. When you recognize that discouragement, just observe it. How far you have come allows you to observe it, and to endure, to overcome. But you don't overcome through strenuous effort. No, this isn't Sisyphus rolling a boulder up a hill. Not at all. You're flowing. Okay? Like the flowers being swayed by the breeze. Remember, I said it's a dance. It's a dance. Dance in a way that is truly reminiscent of your own style. Don't copy anybody else's dance. That's not what you're here for. You can incorporate elements, sure. But that's your style at the end of the day. Those are your moves. That's your movements. That's your sachet. You know what I mean? That's your style. Yours. And yours alone. That is a great thing. Truly a beautiful thing. The Most High is giving each and every one of us. Brothers and sisters, the mirror is not meant to be lived in. It's meant to be curated. Specifications. Curated your desired life. So choose the light. As a child of the Most High, inheritance is peace, abundance, prosperity, fulfillment, and love. That is the life that you are entitled. I genuinely need. Do not live in the mirror. Go within. Seek the sanctuary, your inner sanctuary. God will talk to you. God will speak to you. You will walk in that light. Ever the more grateful and stronger for it. How far you have come. It's not a tragedy. It's a testament to who you are eternally. Let your soul shine. Let your light so shine before men. And define the mirror. Define vision for your mirror. Let it be as beautiful as your inner heart. Illuminated and free for all. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, no, I couldn't forget. Remember who you